Cook's advice. Okay, never mind. So I took Cook's advice, mixed up some epoxy, strengthened up the tabs, put them on the tabs, and let my jig and sit, and then touched it. And that stuff worked great. These wings are not coming off unless you take a sledgehammer to them. Did more filler on the wing root here because from I know at work and looking at a bunch of C-130s, the wings seem to be one piece. So without the filler, these seams right here. Pick this plane up for a second. There, on my phone little stand. Also glued the paratrooper door on it, not the paratrooper door, but the JATO doors. One fit in all right, the other one fit clean. Still got a lot of filler to do. I'm gonna put another weight in the nose here, and then put the nose gear door in. Then after that is just clean up, put the primer on it, and then start painting its famous 9806 Blue Angels, blue, yellow, and white. Other than that, that's about it. Trying to finish this thing and get it off my table and work on something else. So I do need to ask for a favor. Does anybody in their spare parts, whatever, or anything have a control stick to either a Spitfire or a Hurricane? Because Tim says they're interchangeable and I need one for a Spitfire.
What scale?
1/48.
Yeah, I can probably dig one up.
Okay, if you got one by chance, I'll pick it up next meeting.
Is it okay if it's resin?
That's fine, as long as I can paint it and glue it in the cockpit where my plane's upstairs.
I'll take a look and see what I can come up with. Or hit me up offline too, because I think I'm not going to be able to make it to the next meeting, so I can mail it to you.
All right, appreciate it.
All right.
All right, other than that, that's all I have. So whoever's next, my time goes to you.
Good evening, Tim. I guess you can take over now.
Hi, Tim. Put you back over here.
All right. Yeah, sorry. I got distracted and hell, I was on my way out the door with my dog when somebody shot me a note and said, "Hey, dude, where are you?"
Thanks, Darren.
Okay.
That was
What the hell,
easy
man?
one.
What the hell, man?
That was easy. Come on.
Oh, gee.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Who's next? Joe, you're up.
Joe and Sam are gone.
Joe and Sam are done. Then Jonathan, you're up.
Oh, I don't want to go next. Well, I'm just puttering along with my, I guess we're going to see Sam. Now we're going to see everybody but me.
Oh, that's okay. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see.
I got Tim on the screen now.
You let Jonathan run it some more.
No, I got
Yeah,
There you go.
there's Jonathan.
I am. I can't see me.
If folks would mute themselves when they're not talking, then the speaker will be on the screen the whole time. So if you're not talking, mute yourself.
Well, I'm not muted and I'm not on the screen. I got a palsy sitting in here, so you can't see the damn model for the shaking. There we go. All right. Anyway, I'm working on my I-153 Chaika here from ICM. It's got its clear coats over the decals, getting ready to do the final little cleanups and stuff. Absolutely beautiful little model. Went together just so sweet. It's all Tamiya paint on it. ICM gives you call outs for all Tamiya colors. I got to change the prop around. The Soviets did silver props. The Finns unfortunately painted them black with yellow tips, so I got to go back and do that some more. But you want a fun little model, a Winnie the Pooh plane, short, fat, and proud of that. That's one to get. $5 from wherever we were the other day, where the guy had all the stuff on sale. So $5. It's way more than $5 worth of fun. Darren, I'll have one of whatever you just got out of the fridge, and I'll cede my time back to Tim.
All right. Thanks, Jonathan. And Phil, we're going to see if we can make you up next.
Well, first off, it was cool to actually see everybody in person last week. So that was cool. Also, today was a really weird day. My daughter graduated from high school. So it's kind of
All
like,
right.
All right. Congratulations to your daughter.
thanks. So it's kind of like a big shock setting in. We still have my son who's in high school. So it's like, oh, wow, they're getting older now, you know? So let's see. For the 2 robot models that I brought in, I earlier in the week I made basically a Canon for the other one, like the one that you guys saw with the Canon on it. It's like the heavy version, and the other one's going to be lightweight. So I did this one right here. This would probably be about 57 millimeter. It's fluted, and it has the excuse me, and it has the muzzle brakes on there. And I did this and I thought it looked okay, but it looked kind of on the smallish side. And I remember at the same time I was trying to work on that model like 25 years ago, I had got a whole bunch of Tamiya brass on sale. You know, I had one of the hobby shops I went into had a bunch of the 75 millimeter brass for both the Sherman tanks and for the Stugs. So I was like, hey, I'll get some of that. So I've had it sitting around all these years, and I thought, you know, I'll make a barrel for it. So I went and made a larger barrel. So this one will be 75 millimeter, and it's also fluted, and did a muzzle brake for it as well too, a little bit heavier. So hopefully it's looking okay on my camera. Hopefully you guys could see it. So, but that's it for me. So I'll just have to work on the gun mechanism for it.
Sounds good. All right, Jim, you're up.
Okay, actually have some progress this week. Here's the 109 G6 AS with the AMUR conversion set, which basically replaces the entire cowling and has an enlarged air intake. Anyhow, so I've got that pretty much ready for decals. The 109E1, and this one also is ready for decals now. And that's the Edward kit. The first one was the Revell kit. And finally, the 109 G6, this is going to be Stiegler's airplane. And it too is ready for decals. So that's it for me.
Gonna do a B-17 to go with Stigler's
No.
aircraft?
No, I couldn't put that much battle damage on it. So, no.
So you do the B-17 when it took off for the mission?
Yeah, no, that's not happening. I'm also working, hang on for just one second. Working on a MiG-25 RBF, and got this much of it put together. And I'm still trying to work out the colors I'm going to use for the camouflage. Painted some and not totally happy yet. But it's going to be one of the camouflage ones, so it'll be different than the all gray variety. But I put one of the quick boost pilots in it. Got a MiG-25 pilot. If you decide to do that, don't do what I did, because there is the way the IMC kit goes together, it's got the ejection seat, but the rear part of the ejection seat is actually part of the rear bulkhead. And I didn't realize that until I put the ejection seat in. And so it's got 2 ejection mechanisms, but I'm not going to change it now. So that's it for me. Bye.
All right. Darren? You're up.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm sorry I missed y'all all last week. That looked, the pictures looked like y'all had a very large turnout. That's pretty cool. Tim, I was telling the guys earlier that I went in there the other night to pick some stuff up, and they were actively promoting the group. Whenever they asked what I was working on, first thing they asked, have you heard about the Southern Maryland scale modeler? So that was cool.
That's good.
Yeah. So me, the only thing I've been concentrating on is the F4. As you can see, I've got it pretty much all assembled, except for the parts that I want to paint off the aircraft, include the tail. Started priming it. The bottom, I've started painting. I've got the first coat of white on. Needs another coat, so put that on last night. I'll do some pre-shading on the top this evening, and hopefully this weekend I'll have some color on it all the way around. But a lot of fun. That's what I've been working on in there for most of my time. I started on another kit for all your armor guys out there, Tamiya Sherman, which is kind of cool. Comes in the form of a Bavarian Haze IPA from Tamiya. That's kind of cool from 3 Floyd. So this one goes together really well too. I'm just here to tell you, but that one's yeah, Floyd's Bavarian. Good stuff.
Oh, does it come with the drink?
Yes, it does. Oh, what else? I don't know if y'all discussed this or not. I don't know if Jim said anything. He and I texted a little bit earlier today, but Kitty Hawk, y'all heard the news. Kitty Hawk Panda is gone, shutting down. So just saw some chatter here online a while ago that a lot of stuff is selling out already. Imagine that. But I don't know why. It's not a wing nut wings, but it is what it is.
I got you on here, Cook. I just got a question for you. We're pulling the seat out of the Harrier. Would you like to join us this weekend?
I can't this weekend. I would love to, but I can't this weekend. I'm up to my butt in graduation parties all weekend,
Okie dokie.
unfortunately. So yeah, I've got one Saturday and one Sunday. So
Hey, Darren, I
Yeah.
saw a discussion on, I think it was Brit Modeler, regarding the Kitty Hawk that basically said in the translation, somewhere on either their Facebook or their blog or something, Kitty Hawk posted a clarification that they're just not accepting new orders. Or not, they're not getting new orders, therefore they're closing production.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they're closing up shop, and essentially it may be a Chinese to English translation problem, where what they mean is until somebody starts ordering for sale Kitty Hawk products, they're just basically letting their employees go and putting everything on hold.
All right. Well,
That was one of
That-
the threads and where it went.
hopefully you're right. I mean, I think they've got some good subjects, but you know, we got Glenn Coleman, which is their rep here, saying, posting the same thing. They're closing down. So it would be nice if they come out with a statement, but they don't. That's all they say.
Yeah.
It's closed. Kitty Hawk Panda closing down.
I think Bobcat has gone away as well. They did the TU-16 and the IL-28, what the Firebar series. So they seem to be gone as well.
Hey, Darren?
Yeah.
Let's go back to your F4B there. I'm going to be announcing tomorrow night the coming set of releases for detail and scale.
Mhm.
And because of that kit, Bert has revamped his idea for books. And he moved, and they're actually going to do a U.S. Navy F4 Phantoms part two parts. Part 1 is going to be prototypes through the B and the N. And you might want to just reach out to him individually and see if he'd be interested in photos and a write-up to go in the modeler section of that book, just by the way.
Okay. I'll
Hey.
do that.
Hey Vince, on detail and
Absolutely.
scale, do you guys do walk around like photos and stuff.
So I don't know how to answer that. Have you ever looked at a detail and scale book?
Nope.
Okay, so the short answer is yes. They're full of them.
So if they're gonna do something on the sea area like the F-82, you can come out and take a bunch of photos you want before the buyer buys it.
Yeah, well, that one isn't even in the consideration list for stuff. They're doing US subjects, and they're really revamping a lot of their previously released books before they get to any like new titles. And given the age of both Bert and Rock, I wouldn't, even the Aviate Harrier, I don't think is on the horizon.
Okay.
Thanks for the offer. I mean, I don't have any say on their order, but they've been working real hard on the FJ1 Fury Part 1, which will cover through the FJ2s and 3s. And then they're releasing the F-13 Color and Markings Part 2, which is all the Pacific Fleet squadrons. And then they're going to do the FJ Fury Part 2, which will cover the Dash 4 and a lot of the one-offs. And then they're going to hit F-13 Color and Markings Part 3. And then they're already starting work on the F-4 book. And they're going to do the BN prototypes, BN first, and then the JS as a US Navy Part 2. They haven't spoken about whether they're doing a US Air Force version like CDs, E's, G's, and so on. And there is no photo reconnaissance in any part of that yet either, like the R4B, C's, or E's. But I know he's moving forward with the F4BN, and the reason he is because of that Tamiya kit. They were kind of getting nudged with all of the Edouard releases, but most of those were Air Force. And then when Tamiya did the B, they went, okay, that's it. They're moving the F4B way up in production. So he may want to write up on that book for the modeler section. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Okay, I'll hit him up. Real quick while I've got you there, I came back and I looked through my stuff, and the only monogram one I've got is this one, and it is still sealed. So it's this is the Hasegawa plastic boxing. I'm not going to open that up. So that's the only one I had.
Yeah, no worries. This one I'm actually building for a friend. He asked me to build it for him, and our agreement was what's in the box. So I've got one of my own, and I'll probably take some brass wire and make my own bent probe.
Hey, Vince, I might have a spare probe in my parts box if you want it.
Okay, but not for this one. I mean, honestly, it's already glued on, it's painted, it's gloss coated, it looks good. And now if I start trying to take it off, I'm just going to dork up the paint job.
Now, is that A4? Is it just like the Revell one I have? It comes with Navy and Blue Angels markings.
This one here, yes, it does have. It has the Navy markings as well.
Cool. You might have to pick one up.
Marine markings. You're not going to pick that one up.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, that one's been gone for a while.
Yeah, you're not going to pick that one up. That's out of production, my friend. That boxing, you're not going to find it.
Darren.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know how many passes in the pattern did you take that Phantom up so far?
3 or 4.
Just making sure.
Yeah, 3 or 4. But I had pajama pants on. I didn't do it in my underwear.
Did you play some Vietnam music while you did it?
No helmet, no music, just a beer and me and my pajama pants.
Have you ever seen the rain?
God dang it, Vince. Now you got that song stuck in my head.
Is that all, Darren?
Okay, yeah, that's all I've got. I've got nothing left, Tim. I've got nothing left.
All right. Paul, you're up.
Am I? All right. I don't have the big screen, but we'll give this a try. Haven't seen you guys in a couple weeks, and feels like I've having a lot of bench time, but it doesn't look like it. I got doing 2 builds right now. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, there we go. These 2 kits, the Tamiya Toyota Le Mans car and that Hasegawa F15E. So with the airplane, got the tub done, cockpit tub there. Both the seats are done. There's a look at one, and photo etch there. And it's, it came along pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with the results. It's probably the first time I've liked my results with photo etch, so I'm getting a little bit better with that. Yeah, a lot of just real tedious kind of slow kind of work putting all that together. And then the car, I just have the engine block. That's only the first 2 steps of I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 steps in the instructions. Well, maybe 6 or 7 steps. So that's coming along. But I tell you what, guys, if you want to practice your masking tape skills, buy a race car model, because that's all you do with the engine. There's other sub-assemblies to that I'm going to add on later. Little tiny parts that might have 4 or 5 different colors on it. It's a lot of masking, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's like I said, I've spent some time. Feels like I spent a lot of time sitting here working on it, but doesn't look like I got a whole lot done. But there you go. Yeah, so short and sweet tonight. We'll move on to the next guy.
All right, just a heads up, I don't pull chocks, guys, so this is it for me tonight.
All right, Sam, see you.
All right, have
Let
a
me
good one.
go. Let me go back real quick to that masking deal. So, when it comes to those cars and masking those motors, this stuff right here is your friend.
Oh yeah,
This stuff, and this stuff, liquid
Yeah.
mask.
I have both of those, and I use the liquid stuff the most.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, this stuff with the toothpick, you can it gets malleable, right? So you can put it around the piece parts, and it'll stick around. The squares are like those shock springs,
yeah,
so on and so forth. And then you just pull it right off. Silly putty's another one. It's cheaper than this, but does the same thing.
Oh, Darren, let me ask you something. So the springs, now you can see those tiny little, that metallic blue with the silver
Yep.
springs there. Do you just hand paint? Now you don't mask the inside of those springs, do you?
No, I
That's
just
the
use I would just use panel liner inside there, let it fill in.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because I just did the whole thing metallic, that from the red kind of cap all the way down to the arm there is all one piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the metallic blue, the red cap there, copper at that hinge, and then metallic gray, copper fitting there,
Yeah.
and then the rest matte black. So yeah, I just masked all that, painted that metallic blue, and then hand painted the silver. And it came out pretty good, not too
And
bad.
then a little Tamiya panel liner inside there, let it fill in between those springs, and it'll make those springs pop really nice.
Yeah, I'll do that. Just some black, right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I mean, like the disc brakes I have that I'm working on now, I mean, that's probably 4 or 5 colors on that little thing too, from the metallic blue inside to the silver outside to the actual caliper, detail painting that. So yeah, I mean, it's cool detailing all those engine parts, but it takes some time. So
It does.
but I'm gonna
It's a
try,
lot
I'm
of
gonna
fun
try
though.
that the putty stuff, because I do have a can of that somewhere.
Yeah, it works well. Sorry about that.
No,
Good.
I appreciate the tip, man. That's why we're here, I hope.
Yeah, man.
That's why we're here.
Agreed.
Is it, Paul?
That's
This
it.
is
That's
the
all I
way.
got.
All
This
right,
is the way.
this is the way. Okay, Dan, I'm going to let you go next. And by the way, I cannot do spotlight, so you just start talking and the screen's yours.
Talk. I'll be brief. The only thing I got going on is, I don't know if you can see it or not, ordered this eBay Sunday, came yesterday. Yeah, they're out of Sterling, Virginia, and he's got a Dragon model store. The Legend Productions made in Korea, and those people who cast, it's not a bad kit. There's a little bit of flashing to it. It's not too awful, but detail them are okay. It just like, well, I didn't want that part there in the first place. All right, this is what I got so far over one night of cleaning up their resin and putting on this M10. Not much going on paint wise, but just trying to get this resin in because Tamiya in their infinite wisdom give you just a couple pieces of spare parts. And it's like, wait a minute, if you look online with all the pictures, half these things had 3/4 to almost a ton worth of gear on top of them, but nothing in the Tamiya kit has anything like that. So Tim, I just devote my time to somebody else and just modifying this, moving on. I should have it done by the next meeting.
Michael, you're up.
Well, good evening, everyone. This past week's been dedicated to my daughter and her husband visiting, so no bench time and busy recouping. So I'll let someone continue on with good model subjects. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Benny, you're up.
All right, just rolling through the next Mustang. So I've got the, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, because I can't see me, but okay. So I got the True Details cockpit going in here, and then while we've been sitting here, I've just been trying to do some highlights and shadows in there. Got most of the colors blocked out, so that's the starboard side. Let me know if you can see that or not.
Yes.
And then port side here, working on that. And got the cockpit floor blocked out. I'll get the seat done here shortly and get all of that stuff in there and put together. One of the things about the Tamiya Mustang kit, the flaps actually have like a little gimmicky kind of cutout at the inboard end, which is not there on the real airplane. It's there so if you want to cut these tabs off and put the flaps up, that'll actually fit. But it's real easy to fix. You just put a piece of masking tape over it, trace it out, and then get some thin sheet stock, cut a shim and glue it in there. And then I slap a little Mr. Surfacer on it to cover the seam, let it dry, sand it out, and it's good to go. So that takes about 10 minutes. Or you can pay $10 for a set of aftermarket flaps. Have that already done for you. But other than that, you know, it's a pretty straightforward build. And this will be the, I think the third one of the 357 Mustangs that I'm doing. So looking forward to getting this one banged out here. It should be pretty simple. This one's going to be all bare metal, so not a lot of masking on it. And I think it'll go together pretty well and get done shortly. Other than that, that's about it. For the folks that saw the hurricane last week or didn't see the hurricane last week, Paul, you were talking about photo etch seat belts. These are 3D printed because I launched a photo etch belt into the Disapiro sphere a couple of weeks ago. Got fed up with it, and so I thought I'd try this, and it actually worked out really well. Presents pretty well, and it only took about probably 10 minutes of real work to get that, and that's a couple of different pieces up on the shoulder harness, and then the lap belts are separate too. They conform pretty well, just a little bit of canopy glue to help hold them on, and they were flexible and easy to work with. So there's a slot. I don't know if you can see, there's a slot in the armor plate, and the strap actually feeds up through that slot off the seat. And part of the harness actually wraps around the back of the seat. And I didn't have any issue with that at all. That's the kind of thing with photo etch. A lot of times you'll get a crease in it or it'll flake the paint off. But this was easy to do, and the price is comparable. So worth checking out. That's all I got.
All right, Benny, thanks. Steve?
Paul, you're muted.
I'm sorry, Benny, I was going to ask about, do they have a lot of different belts for different subjects?
Now I'm muted. There's more.
We're going to get to it, guys. Just hang in there.
Yeah. So there's some of the stuff like Jim has shown, the Quinta Studios stuff, it's pretty comprehensive, and that's like instrument panels and all kinds of stuff, and they're fairly expensive. Eduard's starting to make some stuff like that. Again, a little pricey. The ones I'm using here on the Hurricane, it's just seat belts. Kits World Decals makes those. And for a set of two, I think I paid like $7. Let me see if I can find the other half of it in here in the box. So it's I thought it was a pretty good value again, because that's pretty comparable to what you'd pay for photo etch, and it's a lot less frustrating when you got a multi-part harness to work with. So you check them out. I got these off eBay. Rebel Alpha. It's Dauntless Hobbies, I think, is the name of the shop, and you can get in there and take a look around and see what they have. But worth checking out, and I think you'll see more and more of this kind of stuff as it goes along.
Yeah, and it looks more realistic than the photo etch too.
They trade pretty well. Yeah.
I got an HGW seatbelt set for a BF 109. So I'm looking forward to using that. But yeah, right on, man. It looks great.
All right, Steve, you're up. Steve looks frozen. Okay, Vince, you're up.
Okay. I was gonna say it's not that cold, but okay. I've been playing with a bunch of things, and the other day for fun, I broke out the ATM-6 and the Death Star 2, and they're fully assembled, and I've gotten them into the paint booth for priming. And I tell you what, if you guys haven't built a Bandai kit, don't wait anymore. These are just freaking amazing. The Death Star 2, you actually build it from the center out with all of the half constructed pieces before you start applying the outer shell on the back 2/3 of it. And everything, you cannot put the parts on wrong. The way the drawings are sometimes are a little misleading, but as soon as you find where it clicks together, they just slide and there's no seams anywhere. And the ATM-6 was really quite a joy to put together. And that thing, what I'm holding up there, while it's kind of small, is comprised of about 15 parts. But again, when you click them all together, not a seam in sight. And I'm looking forward to painting those and just having some fun with them. And while I was at the paint booth, I have a guy on the graveyard was selling a Pteranodon by Tamiya. It's from their stage 1 or phase 1 dinosaurs. So it's not entirely accurate, but it's like hard to find. And I love this paint scheme I saw online. The guy did on a resin one. So I was kind of looking at that, and I broke out after he was primed. And last night I just started shooting some of the tan areas on him to start outlining where the demarcations will be. And then I'll keep painting him up and have some fun with that. In the meantime, Benny, I broke out the decals you gave me, and I started putting the checkered decals on the nose of the Reluctant Rebel. Unfortunately, where I masked and applied the white originally exceeds the boundary of the checkerboard. So now I've got to go back and mask the checkerboard and blend the white back into the olive drab. And since the prop is firmly attached, this will be a masking nightmare, but I'm looking forward to that. And then some of you may have seen, and Darren was commenting because he was looking for a curved probe for me, the bent probe, but the gloss paint job, I took the Testors Extreme Lacquer Wet Look Clear, and I heated the can. I was actually worried I overheated it. It was so hot, I thought it was going to start spraying like stuff on me from the pressure. But when I took this over to my paint booth and started using the rattle can to spray it on, it went on really heavy and it looked like it was going to drip and run. I just left this thing inside of my paint booth and let it set underneath that high intensity light that I have in there because it generates a good bit of heat. And it all leveled out and went gloss, and the stuff laid down like stinking butter. I was so pleased with it. So I've got all of the ancillary parts are here. including the speed brake doors and the flaps and the nose gear doors and all the other stuff. It's about time I'm going to start hanging all the dangly bits off of it. And the other day, I know Joe, he asked where the real Vince Mankowski went, because on the graveyard, this guy was selling a 32nd scale MiG-29C, the fat pack, and from Texas shipped to Maryland. He charged me $14 for shipping, sent it via FedEx, and it got here in like 2 days. And that kit with shipping was only $104. I couldn't pass on a deal like that. So I look forward to jumping into that thing once I clear some of these others off the workbench. But those are the things I've been tinkering with. By the next meeting, I should have those together. And I just want to remind folks, if you don't have your carrier ship ready for carrier landings, you need to get that done. And anybody who's held this, you know how heavy this thing is because it's full of about 3 pounds of copper BBs to get it down the wire. Don't forget your tail hook, and don't forget the hooks to ride the wire on. I put 2 on here so that it will actually, ride at a nose up angle as it goes down the wire. But we're doing carrier landings for the June meeting, and I've pulled out the deck and it was in the garage, so I had to de-spider web it, and that's all taken care of. And I've got the wire out, and I'm inspected it for kinks and all that, so we have a good clean wire to play with. So looking forward to the June meeting. And that's all I've got. Just don't forget your carrier ships.
Thanks, Vince. Steve, you're up.
And not much here. Just doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and not much time at the bench. So, yeah, I'll pass my time.
Okay, I'm going to go next. Let's see. All right, I'll just start talking. Hey, so Vince, I got my, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I got my, whatever
Buccaneer.
this thing is, Buccaneer set up, right? Got the hook on it. Oh, got to go this side. Got the hook on it.
I can see it.
Yeah, okay. Got the hook on it, and it's heavier than crap. I think I've got 2.5, maybe 3 pounds in it. And I'm about ready to paint it. However, I can't find my canopy. I think so. I'm going to ask the group. Any thoughts on scratching up a canopy, or should I just take some what's that stuff called, Milliput, and just mash it on there and kind of sand it so that it looks like it's smooth?
Tim,
Milliput.
Milliput was the first thing that came to my mind for that.
Yep, Milliput
Yeah, I'd
that
Milliput
and
it.
then paint it silver, and that's added weight, my friend.
All right, sounds
Yeah,
good.
put add more weight to it.
I was gonna say like put a 1/32 scale pilot in there, like sticking his thumb up. That's standing.
Yeah, like I
Hey,
have one
Tim.
of those.
Hey, Tim, just one comment on your tail hook. You have your tail book coming back almost so straight. You may want to bend it so it comes down a little further, because even with a nose down attitude, yeah, you've got it coming back almost like this, and it needs to come down away from the body. Yeah, that way you'll have a better chance of catching the wire with it.
That's easy enough. I had it bent up like that just so that I could set it on its feet.
Noted. Yeah, my Sky Raider sits a little funny on the ground, but
All right, cool. So that's the first thing I'm working on, is getting that thing finished. The next thing I'm working on is this is a KI 115 something or other. It's a, what is that thing called? Kamikaze. It's got the big old bomb that doesn't leave. It's an Aviation USK kit. I'm at the decal stage. I don't like the way the prop looks on it. It kind of sticks out, but that's the way they have you glue it on. It looks stupid, so I'm gonna do something with that to make it look better. And other than that, that's an easy one. I think I'll have finished probably in the next day or so. And then one of the Bill Briarton driveway specials was I bought this old Italeri kit that was bagged, and it turns out it's actually a retooled Italeri kit, and the basic plastic is the same, except that instead of a bare cockpit, they now provide a fully detailed cockpit, and well, maybe not fully detailed, but more than just two slabs that pilots can sit on. It's now full seats, and the seats are not in them, but those are just the platforms that the seats sit on and the control columns. And it's otherwise, and the fit's pretty good. And I'm just in the fill and sand stage on the seams, but it otherwise, and it's very little. It's just thin, couple of sink marks and that kind of stuff. But I've got it after 3 days of, what is today, Thursday? Yeah, 3 days of building. I've got it to the stage of major sub-assemblies. The only sub-assemblies I haven't actually started yet are the engines, but it's coming together. And I'm going to do I think I'm going to do since it's got a little more color to it, because otherwise they're just two shades of gray. I'm going to do the 1944 version that has the late war Italian roundels on it and a little bit more color to it, because my other choices were German or early war grays, and the early war grays just had black and white markings, just like the German markings. Anyway, so that's what I got. Hey, as an FYI, if you weren't aware, and I haven't posted it yet, but we had 67 models last week. So if you didn't know, we actually around the table 67 models.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 22 modelers were there, and unless I forgot to count somebody, but I counted more than once, and I always came up with the same number. So either I've got a funky method of counting, or at least I'm consistent. So I think that was great. And next month it's going to be bring your BF-109s that are not German, so that everybody knows that if you finish that one in the series of COVID themes, that'll be the one to bring next month. And of course, anything else you worked on that you want to bring, as usual. But yeah, that was awesome. I'm going to write that up and put it on the site, and I'll shoot it out to everybody so that you can see it. And I think there's some more pictures. I know I took a couple of pictures, and I forwarded out the 2 pictures that Rebecca took. I think that was Rebecca. It was either Rebecca or Dan, because she was including a mention of Dan in her email. So at any rate, I think that's everybody. Yeah, looks like I got everybody.
Tim, don't forget about your email pertaining to 2022 themes, correct?
I sent that out.
Yeah.
Right. So and some folks have sent me ideas. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Probably I'll close suggestions in the next week, so that I can get the survey out fairly quickly. I want to get that. I'm running about a month and a half behind on that. I'd like to get that wrapped up so that we can get it. If there's any unique kits that you need to go shopping for, whether it be nationals or the any local shows or going online, it'll give you some time to find them and buy them. Or
woohoo nationals.
Channels. What's that?
I said woohoo for nationals.
Yeah,
hey,
woohoo for nationals.
Who on the call is going to nationals?
I'm going.
I know Darren, Tim. Is that it from us?
Well, Frill and
going?
Whitey, of course, the crew there's going.
Yeah,
nobody else.
Samo's going.
Yeah.
I was going to
Jim?
go, but I got a wedding I have to go to instead.
Rotram, I think Jim's going. Yep. He's gonna be there.
I won't
Mike,
be
you're sharing
going.
the
I
same
don't have
room.
the cubic dollars.
Hey, Paul, whoever's getting married, tell them they need to get married in Vegas that weekend.
Yeah, I know. I'm going up to Maine, so I'm gonna other end of the country.
Yeah, Maine's not bad that time of year.
It's August. It'll be warmer in Vegas.
Yeah, well, trust me, I'd rather be in Vegas.
In August.
It'll also be a whole lot drier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for
They will
sure.
fry an egg on the sidewalk out there in the strip. Vegas, August.
So I got a question for Darren. Are you going to have that Phantom ready for the carrier landings in June?
You know, I was going to make that comment when we were talking about it, and I said no, but I'll have it at the meeting. Yes.
I'll bring some extra wire. We can make some hangers right
It
there.
will. It won't be going down any wire, my friend.
We'll see.
We can set up a barricade if that'll make you feel better.
Inverted.
Not much, but a little bit.
All right, folks, I think that's it. Again, my apologies for showing up late. My brain farted royally.
You got go counsel yourself, Tim.
Yep, I feel counseled.
Go take the poor dog for a walk. Dog's been crossing his legs for an hour.
I expect to see the page 13 in the morning there, Tim.
Because that Monday got everybody thrown off.
You know, there's an easy way to fix that. It's just Saturday night green light Tim's house. That'll make up for it. Look at it. He goes, no. No.
So, yeah. So the risk is if you do that, the risk is I won't be here only because I'm teaching on Saturday.
Only because you know everybody's coming over and you're getting the hell out of town.
That's okay. I have a cooler. We have a blanket. We can hang out on a tree in the front yard. We can wait.
That works.
It has
We'll
happened
see
in
you
the
when you
past.
get home.
It's happened in the past.
Yeah.
Not at Tim's house. Elsewhere.
Yeah. What's that campfire in our front yard?
Yeah.
Fun
All
stuff.
It's all good.
It is.
All right, boys. I'll see you all next week.
All right,
All right,
guys.
gentlemen, take care.
Good night.
See you guys.
See ya.
See you later.